Are you wanting to move forward in your life but feeling held back by your inability to make decisions? If so, don't worry, you're not alone. According to one study, the 2023 Decision Dilemma study, it found that 72% of the people who took this study struggled with an ability to make decisions. Now, with more options and more stressors than ever, decision paralysis and its rippling consequences are affecting more people than ever, and it's a very common thing. Most people don't know what to do. Do you? My name is Tyler. Welcome to today's video. I appreciate y'all tuning in today. You decided to click on this video and learn something good for yourself, and for that, I applaud you. We all have to start somewhere, right? And the first decision that we must make is to make a decision. Any decision. Otherwise, we'll find ourselves feeling overwhelmed and stuck. Unfortunately, that's exactly where I found myself about a year ago. I was in a living situation that just was not great. The landlord did not allow any guests over, period. This guy was just sitting there watching the Ring camera. I tried a couple times. I was damn near on eviction notice because I did bring people over. And my roommate across from me was just a night owl and a rager on the video game. He was always yelling at the game, shutting doors loud as hell. And he just had no self-awareness. On top of that, I was stuck at a dead-end job that I just absolutely despised. It would leave me exhausted, worn out, and I would leave the job feeling pretty pissed off and then dreading the fact that I knew the next day I had to go there and repeat the same exact thing. Also, I was stuck being alone, the loneliest I've ever felt in my entire life, with having to balance work and having to balance full-time school. I just didn't really have any time to meet people, to talk to people. I was in a brand new city by myself in Orlando, and I had a relationship at the time, but I was just so overwhelmed from everything that I was unable to be present. I knew I was completely unsatisfied with my life, but I just didn't take any action. And this continued until I just couldn't take the stress anymore and the constant feelings of negativity, and I crumbled. My inability to take action and to make a decision left me in the worst state of mind, the worst state of health, and it also caused me to ruin my relationship. But don't worry, the sob story ends here. Wipe your tears, because there is a silver lining. At this point, once everything got to this low point, I realized I finally had a decision before me to either accept this awful life and just remain miserable, or to accept the mantle of responsibility and to take the direction of my life and steer it into a better direction. Obviously, I made the decision to take it into a better direction, and I'm very grateful for that decision because I now find myself in the best state of mind that I have been in my entire life. I decided that I would quit my job, that I would find a new place to move, and also that I would finally start being open to people regardless of how busy I was. I followed my plan to the T, and like I said, it led me to a great place. Now, prior to this, I had been completely paralyzed by the decisions that laid before me. I understand how this feels, and I see it in my day-to-day with lots of people, whether it's online, people are talking about on Reddit mostly that they feel stuck, they don't know what to do, and commonly I will see it in my day-to-day people that just look clearly stuck. Now, no one should have to bear this unnecessary burden on their shoulders, and I stand here today as a testament of the power of decision making. And that's why in today's video, I'm going to be teaching y'all about decision paralysis, why this is extremely important for you to understand, and I'm also going to be giving you a new way you can reframe the way that you look at decisions, so that way you can take control of your life and start finally making confident decisions. So what is decision paralysis? Essentially, decision paralysis is when we overthink the options that are available to us, and this leads to inaction. Now, this inaction can stem from a fear of making the wrong decision, a fear of missing out on potential other opportunities, and also just feeling overwhelmed by the number of possibilities in general. We live in an age of abundance, and the choices before us are immense. Even on the most basic of levels, like what to watch or what to eat, there's a lot of choices. Now, there's a term called death by 1,000 cuts, and this term originates from an ancient Chinese torture where they inflict numerous small cuts over time on the victim, and eventually they just bleed out in a slow and agonizing way. Today, this phrase is used metaphorically to describe how a series of seemingly minor inconvenient issues can accumulate over time and end up causing significant and devastating damage. This highlights the importance of addressing small issues before they accumulate and become much bigger and much more difficult problems to handle. Decision paralysis can be related to death by a thousand cuts because each small hesitation, each moment wasted second guessing yourself can seem really minor at the time. However, these minor indecisions accumulate over time and they slowly erode your confidence and they lead to a significant decline in your overall well-being. The concept of death by a thousand cuts relates more to the minor issues and minor decisions. When it comes to larger scale decisions such as relationship decisions or career decisions, this is going to involve something called the no-win decision-making process. Honestly, you're probably looking at your decisions in the wrong way. After however long you've been alive, you've probably made X amount of decisions, and you may have learned somewhere along the way that no matter what you do, you're screwed, or no matter what you do, you might make the wrong choice and you're going to stand to lose something. This is an error in the way that you view decision making, and it is known again as the no-win decision making process. This concept comes from the book Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways by Susan Jeffers. This no-win decision making process highlights how people often perceive situations as win-lose scenarios, and this leads to fear and stress over making the wrong choice. This mindset is paralyzing and counterproductive. So an example of this in action would be someone who just graduated high school and they're deciding between either going straight to college or getting a job. Now, when they look at going to college, they might be thinking, oh, it's super expensive, or maybe they're not smart enough to handle it. And then on the other hand, for getting a job, they might be thinking that if they don't go to school and get a degree, their career choices are going to be lackluster or just very limited. Now, both of these might have a little bit of truth, but they're completely disregarding the countless opportunities that the person can grow from by either choice. Now, why is it important for us to understand this information? Honestly, this section does not need to be super long. If you need more evidence, just refer to my story I just gave you. But let's take the two examples that I just gave you above of going to college or getting a job after high school. Now, there are countless negative outcomes that could come from either option, and that's where we get hung up on the fear of the consequences of our decision, and we become stuck and unable to make a decision at all. During this time of inaction, we waste precious time worrying and stressing over things that we don't have to be, when we could be using this valuable time for preparing or working on the decision that we have made, or also just enjoying life in general, being present for what we are doing. Now, everything has its positives and negatives. The yin and yang is legit. And the key thing to remember here is that regardless of your decision, there is always ample opportunities to grow from it, regardless of the outcomes. You can survive. You've made it this far your whole life. And look, you're still alive. Staying alive, staying alive. But yeah, you get it right. You're still alive. We want to be more than just alive, though. We want to thrive. And that's exactly what the opposite of the no-win decision-making process looks like. This process is known as the no-lose decision-making process. So the no-lose decision-making process is broken into two parts. There is before making a decision and then after making a decision. Before we make a decision, there is 5 steps we're going to want to go through. Number 1, we're going to start with being mindful. Remember not to allow your mind to focus on the negatives. You only want to see the positives that you could gain from either outcome. Number 2, study. You're going to want to research your decision either by reading about it, watching videos on it, or talking to people that you know or even that you don't know that might have some knowledge or experience with the decision that you're making. Another good little thing you can do is consult with ChatGPT. Whatever your decision is, just ask it like tips or advice for this, and then you can also ask it for sources or resources, and from there you could find the people that came up with the ideas, make sure they're accurate, it's not always accurate, and research further from there. ChatGPT is great for research, give it a shot. Number 3 is to search within. Consider what matters to you the most. A lot of times, things like expectations of others or even just old patterns of behavior can get in the way of us doing and living the life that we really want. It might cause us to stray off the path. Just take some time, meditate, journal, just think about it, and be true to yourself. What do you want? Number 4, have faith in yourself. Whatever impulses or desires that you have on a deep level, have some truth to them. The heart wants what it wants, and while the truth sometimes is harder to handle, it is what ultimately will set you free. Number 5, don't take things too seriously. Now, the author puts it best here. I really couldn't have said it better myself, but start thinking about yourself as a lifetime student at a large university. Your curriculum is your total relationship with the world you live in, from the moment you're born until the moment you die. Take a chance and learn from it. And now we're on to after you make a decision, which consists of 3 steps. The first step is rid yourself of your expectations. In the words of the great Shakespeare, expectation is the root of all heartache. Honestly, I didn't expect to quote so much for this YouTube video, but it seems like it's working out. No matter how hard we try, we cannot control the future. So just try your best to be open to changes in the script. Number 2, practice total accountability. This empowers you to take full control of your life. By owning your choices and their consequences, you build confidence, you learn from your experiences, and you foster a mindset of productive growth. This eliminates unnecessary stress, the blame game, and also reinforces the belief that you have the power to shape your destiny. Number 3, don't be arrogant. Don't stay stuck in a decision if it isn't working out for you. Correct your course and get back on track. In the book, the author has a really good example of relating to the inertial guidance system that airplanes have. So over the course of the entire time that the airplane is flying, it corrects itself repeatedly using this device. And overall, the plane can be off course up to like 90%, and it still gets to a destination on time. So just don't be afraid to correct your course. It's okay. You don't have to hold on to things. If it's not working for you, figure it out and keep getting back to where you want to be. And that's that. That's all the steps that are included for you to be able to switch from a no-win situation to a no-lose situation. Now, it really just requires you to let go of that fear and just make the decision to make a decision. Again, I appreciate you making the decision to stop in today and check out this content. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you get the post notifications. I'm bringing y'all some good life-changing advice. I really do hope you found this information to be helpful. Are there some things, some decisions that you need to be making? Hopefully this information is going to help you make those decisions and feel good about them. No matter what, believe in yourself. You got to where you are today. You can get to where you want to be. I'll see y'all in the next video. Take care, everybody.